Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on? All right, this word was for Friday, and I had put it up, but I had took it down. But I said, let me put it out there, cause somebody needs to hear it. So yeah, I had this dream, and in this dream, I seen the cast of Living Single. The original cast of Living Single, and it was really, really old, like old, old. Like senior citizen, old, 80, 90s years old, old. Like really, really old, like white hair, you know. And, basically I know what that meant, it's clear as day. It's clear to see what that means. So I had asked God, I said, you want me to speak on it? Like, do you want me to speak on it? And I'm gonna need you to confirm it if you want me to, because I wasn't gonna speak on it. So all of a sudden I see this YouTube short, and that thumbnail y'all see, that's what I seen. And I'm talking about I didn't look nothing up. I ain't type nothing in. None of that. And y'all see the confirmation. Y'all see, so yeah, like just like the dream, the single life, God saying that single life is getting old. Living single, being by yourself is getting old. It's time to get married. It's time to lock in. It's time to tie the knot, for some people, not, I know this not just for everybody, and I don't want nobody from my past to be thinking nothing, so I just want to clear that up. I don't want nobody from my past to be thinking anything. Okay, I just want to say that. But if you know you a husband, if you know you a wife, if you know you're supposed to be coming into marriage with your spouse because God didn't put it up on your heart and been convicting your heart, you know, what God's saying it's time to get married, enough of the procrastinating, hesitating, y'all know if you that spouse that should be, whether you the husband or wife, like I say, you know what you should be doing and stuff, and God say it's about that time. And like I said, this not is not for everybody, it could be for one person, it could be for a few people, but like I said, always take, a word or message from God and ask God, do it resonate with me? Some of y'all know it resonate. Some of y'all know this word just for y'all. Some of y'all know that. But like I said, to make sure, always take something you hear, a word or whatever, always take it up to God. So that's all I really gotta say is just, and no, I'm also say this, we know when it's time to, time for a kingdom marriage to come into play. We know the enemy here trying to fight against that, and he'll trying to do all kind of things, right? So you got to be wary of how the enemy is operating, especially when it's time for a kingdom marriage to come into play. I remember my old pastor wife, I remember she was telling me like the day it was time, the day, they were supposed to get married, like the enemy was fighting them so hard. Like he was doing all kind of stuff to prevent them from getting married, she just was like, he was fighting hard against them from getting married, because he don't want, the enemy don't want a kingdom marriage to happen, because he know first two is better than one. Okay, that mean, yeah, one could put 1,000, but two could put 10,000, right? Iron sharpens iron. So when you have a godly husband and a godly wife, they gonna end up sharpening each other, right? And he know, like, purpose could come out of kingdom marriage. He know the kingdom of God could be built more through a kingdom marriage, So, he definitely try to stop that. And he also don't want a kingdom marriage. He also don't want marriages to happen because he know if you're not married, you can, you liable to sin. Not saying you don't, not saying you have to, but he know that can happen. He know, you're liable to fornicate or masturbate, and the enemy, he wants you to stay in sin. He don't want you out of sin. And he know when you're married and married to the right person, he'll know a blessing is on it. You know, he know you'll be free from sinning because the enemy, he wants you to stay in sin. He wants you to stay in bondage. Not saying you just gotta go, do this and that, but he know a lot. Like the enemy got a lot of people thinking like it's okay to fornicate and do all those things, and it's like no, it's not. People gotta get. You're supposed to be married, to have sex to the one God calling you to marry. Whoever God is calling you to marry, that is the one you're supposed to be marrying. But he don't want people to be married because, like I said, for all them reasons and stuff. And and he want to stop, godly multiplication, because, yeah, we have children out of wedlock and stuff, but, the way he originally designed it is to, the children be birthed out of, a marriage, and a marriage he ordained, right? But yeah, we have children out of wedlock, and I'm not saying that children can't be blessed, because look at Solomon. Look how David and Bathsheba had Solomon, but, look how God blessed Solomon. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, how God preferred it to be. So yeah, like just be careful whether you're married or you're coming into marriage, be careful how the enemy work. He could work through you, he could work through your spouse, he could work through both of y'all. The enemy, he'll come in like a flood and try to drown you with negative emotions, negative feelings, negative thoughts about your spouse, about one another. And he'll try to have y'all fighting against one another, or he'll try to, you know, work through other people and get other people to speak in your ear about your spouse, whether it's family, friends, strangers, whoever. You gotta be careful who you're listening to, especially when it comes to a kingdom marriage, because a kingdom marriage, a marriage of God, what the Bible say is it say a three-strand cord cannot be broken. That means a marriage is between God, the husband, and the wife. Okay, nobody else. So we gotta be careful of who we listening to, because the enemy could use whoever to pollute your mind about your spouse, about the situation, about your marriage. Like he very slippery. The enemy, he's very slippery. He's very crafty. He's very he's very deceiving. So you gotta be careful what you're taking in, especially when it comes to a marriage, because the enemy, he'll try to use whoever, whether it's you, your spouse, both of y'all, or outsiders. Always take your marriage up to God first. God is the best advisor. He's the best counselor. He's the best consultant. And I want to say this. Somebody could say something about your spouse and it be right. Y'all know that, like, somebody could say something about your spouse and it be right, but they'll lead you into a way you're not supposed to go. Like I'm saying, like, for example, say you're telling a friend about your spouse, your husband or your wife, about your spouse, and it be like, oh well, they doing that where they got some ugly ways, they got a bad attitude, you shouldn't be with them, you should leave them alone. And they'll pollute your mind to leave your spouse alone, right? But God ain't saying leave your spouse alone. God's saying be patient, pray for your spouse, keep them covered. I'm just saying that for example, I'm just speaking in general, because that's the things that be going on. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with that type of stuff, because the enemy, I mean, people just give their own opinions and thoughts. People just give their own opinions and thoughts, but the enemy can also influence a person's thoughts and opinions. And you have a person saying some stuff you shouldn't take in, to you. Have a person saying some stuff to you shouldn't take in. The only one you should be listening to is God. Nobody else. Nobody else. Even before another marriage couple, even because, I know a lot of people say it's good to consult with another marriage couple, and that is, I'm not saying it ain't, but it's the best choice. The best one to go to is God. The best one to go to is God, especially because he the one that put it together. He the one to put it together. So God put something together how why wouldn't he be the best one to talk to him about it, to talk to see him about the thing, so I just want y'all, I just want to say that, and just be careful, just be careful, and just be slow to speak. Remember to be slow to speak, slow to anger, and quick to listen to what God is saying about a marriage, because I know, like, when things happening with you, or with our spouse or whatever, with a marriage, I know we quick to, like, to leave, or to walk out, or to go off and stuff, and that's always like, say if your spouse is doing something wrong that you don't like, or saying something wrong that you don't like, we quick to go off. But like the Bible say, like I just said, be slow to anger, be slow to speak, and it's not that we don't know that, it's just we got to constantly remind ourselves, even though our spouse might be doing things to hurt us or offend us, or might be doing things to make us feel, or saying things to make us feel bad and make us want to leave and make us want to walk away and make us want to walk out, right? Even though, but sometimes we gotta, well, I mean, not sometimes, but all the times we gotta remember to get out our emotions and feelings and get into the spirit and get into God's presence about our spouse, we gotta remember that, because the enemy, he tries his hardest to cause this division and disunity in the kingdom marriage, and if two can't be, at least one gotta be spiritually matured and emotionally mature to say, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna argue with you, I'm not gonna tell you nothing ugly, I'm not gonna fuss back with you, but I'm a give it to God, I'm gonna put you in God's hands, and I'm gonna keep you covered. Because if two can't be like that, at least one gotta be. At least one. It's great. It's a blessing if two could be like that. But at least one gotta be. At least one gotta, be the bigger person and say, you know what, God, I'ma need you to calm it down right now. I'ma need you to remove all these negative emotions and feelings and thoughts I have about my spouse. And God, I'ma need you to have your way with my spouse. So we just gotta practice. We gotta remember and practice that, more than anything. We gotta remember that. We gotta remember, like, remember, y'all, like, marriage is a blessing. Marriage is an honor. It just be crazy to me to see, like, how so many people is not in a kingdom marriage. Like, the people that should be together, or God is calling to be together, is not. It's just so sad to see, because, like, that's from God. Like, a God ordained marriage is from God. So, like I said, y'all, just remember to, as much as you can, stay out your feelings and stay in the spirit, and keep praying for your spouse. If you the husband or wife, you know, that know what you should do, then do it. Don't fall for the tactics of the enemy. Because I know sometimes it's like, we want to walk away, and sometimes we feel like it's valid reasons why we should walk away. Like, God, like, this person is not treating me with respect. Like, why would you want me to be here and this person is not treating me with respect? Like, I'm like, no, I do not want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like that, right? We feel like that, like, and we feel like we want to walk away, and we want to, you know just give it all the way up. And sometimes God will tell you to walk away from a marriage. Look, I don't care what nobody say. God will tell you to walk away from a marriage with certain, for certain marriages, okay? at certain times. If it's a person that you should have never married, or if God just say like for some reason, a bad reason why you shouldn't be there, like God will give you the okay. Like for adultery and stuff, even the Bible say, the Bible say God hate divorce, but like if somebody cheat, then yeah, but like God sometimes will have you walk away from a marriage at times. Not every marriage is staying, and not every marriage you walk away. But the only way to truly know whether you should stay or not is if you go to God about it. You gotta go to God about it. You gotta ask him what you should do, because somebody, you could feel like you need to walk away or give up, and somebody else could tell you, oh no, walk away and give up. But then God tell you, no, I didn't tell you to give up. I didn't tell you to walk away. I want you to keep holding on. I want you to keep fighting. I want you to be patient. I want you to long suffer in love. And so like I said, it's just best to go to God about it all, and God will show you. God will let you know if you should stay or not. And if you have a spouse who don't want to get in line, or whatever they doing, like just don't stress. Like the Bible said, don't worry about nothing. Pray about everything. Like, just pray about it. Just pray about it, and God know how to convict a person. God know how to get to your spouse. God know how to get to a person. Just like, when Saul was going to Damascus, and to kill or persecute some more Christians, God knock him off that horse. God knock him off that high horse. So what I'm saying is God know how to get to a person. God know how to convict a person until they surrender. Okay? God know what to do. So just never lose hope, patience, and if you are losing hope, or if you are losing patience, or if you feel like you're losing a little love or interest in your spouse, ask God to keep that, and to rekindle your love for your spouse. Just hold on, because I know is things like that get very aggravating and very frustrating, especially if you're the one trying to hold it down and try to maintain the peace. Things like that could really frustrate you and aggravate you. And I also want to say this, God can, because he can do anything. All things are possible with God. He can do anything. All things are possible with God. It's nothing too hard for him. He can get to your spouse. But even as I just want to say this, I want to add this. He can get to your spouse, but if your spouse don't want to get in line, he can replace. Okay? He can replace. If your spouse, I'm just saying that because we can't make a person do right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying that because we can't force a person. We can't make a person do right. God can say, hold on, and I'm going to get to your spouse, but he can also say, I'm going to replace them too. If they don't want to stop. If God feel like replacing somebody, he can. Just like, he did with how he did with David. No, yeah, how he did with Saul. Saul didn't want to do right. He put David in a position. Esther didn't. No, Vashti, yeah, she didn't want to do right. He put Esther in a position. So I just want to say that because I don't want to, because I want people to keep that in mind that it's not always God that's like it's people got their own choices and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got their own choices, and you can't force nobody. And it's like, if a person don't want to do right, God gonna either eventually get them in line, convict them, and cause them to surrender, because that's what he truly want, or he gonna either remove his grace off of that person, the relationship, and get somebody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get somebody else to do it. So, it just depend on what God say, not what I say. No, not with, not with a spouse, not with nobody else say but God, you know. So like I say, just whatever God is speaking to you and you know what you need to do, that's what you should do. And if not, well, hey, if God say different, then he say different. All right. So I just want to say that. All right. All right.